Desperate sneaker resellers have been trying to bribe StockX authenticators. A report has found that Nike sneakers are stolen at every link of the supply chain. FOOTLOCKER have done a U-turn on selling Yeezys. We've got more MANIERE Jordan 5s and much more in this week's sneaker recap. Hello everybody, it is me, Jordan Young, back with another certified hood classic bus and banger, no cap on God. If you like sneaker content, whether it is news or reviews or commentary and comedy, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button while you're here, and if you want to keep up with me in real time, go over and give me a follow on the IG and TikTok. Let's start off by recapping some of this week's biggest sneaker releases. It was a big week, of course, for Yeezys. A lot of the retailers carrying these Yeezy restocks still have plenty of models in stock. The only resellable pairs are the slides and the foam runners. And so the cool thing about this Yeezy re-up is that if you really wanted to grab yourself a pair, they are available. Did you guys cop any Yeezys? Let me know. Also had the cracked orange dunks and the field purple 12s. And here in the UK, we had the burgundy 5s, which are still sitting. These are set to drop for you guys over in the US a little bit later on this month, on the 29th. And we also had the big yellow Crocs. Much like the big red boots, these are extremely expensive for what they are. And I think ordering from the Mischief website means you're gonna have to wait a long time for the shipping. The hype hasn't been as big this time around as it was for the big red boots, although we did see WWE superstar Seth Rollins come out and fight on Monday Nitro wearing a pair. If you look at the prices, you can see they follow a similar trajectory to the big red boots. These were going for like £1,500 or $1,700 a couple of weeks ago, and since then they have been steadily declining in price before dropping off a cliff and currently settling around retail or just over. Did you guys pick up a pair of the big yellow Crocs? If you did, feel free to let me know in the comments so that I can mock you. So let's talk about some news, and I want to start things off with this light-hearted story relating to this sneaker reseller, or maybe it was just some random dude who sent in his shoes to be authenticated with a $5 note attached to the packing slip and a nice little cheeky message saying pass please. StockX were of course none too impressed by this and decided to flag this guy's accounts and suspend it on account of violation of terms and conditions. I don't know what the guy expected to happen really, especially with such a pithy amount of $5. What do you guys think about this? A report from the Wall Street Journal found that Nike sneakers are stolen at every stage in the supply chain. Now, a lot of us out there are going to be thinking, well, no shit, Sherlock, we already knew this. But the extent of the investigation was quite revealing. The sneaker aftermarket is currently valued at around $30 billion. And because this market is so lucrative, it has become hyper competitive. As regular consumers, we already know that we are dealing with sneaker resellers who have bots. We're dealing with connected people who have backdoor connections. And there also exists this looming threat of organized crime gangs who are pilfering sneakers right across the supply chain. We've seen this play out last year famously at the Memphis, Tennessee shipping hub, where we saw a whole bunch of sneakers stolen from the central train yard. This included pairs of the Air Jordan 11 Cherry that were subsequently being sold on StockX, prompting StockX to halt all sales of that particular sneaker. According to the report, during the first half of 2023, theft across the supply chain has increased by 63%. Diving deeper into the meticulous mechanics of these thefts reveals a high level of attention to detail. These organized crime groups familiarize themselves with the layouts of certain stores. They prepare lists spotlighting valuable inventory, and their precision also extends to cargo thefts, employing trained spotters capable of deducing the contents of certain shipping containers using the bill of lading details, SKU numbers, production timetables, release dates and details. And they're also colluding with people on the inside, including retail and logistics companies. And because getting rid of these stolen goods is pretty easy, with instant cash outs available on apps like Goat and StockX, and a market out there for early pairs, it's a very alluring prospect for these criminals. What do you guys think of this situation? FOOTLOCKER have gone and done a U-turn on the release of Yeezy footwear. According to Brandon Dunn of Complex, the retailer was afraid of the backlash that they would receive as a result of selling the Yeezy products. It seems to confirm a commitment by most brands to keep their distance from Ye in general, and all of the remarks that saw him get cancelled basically. What do you guys think of this situation? Speaking of Ye, I don't know if you guys have been following him recently, but the bro has decided to completely devolve his approach to footwear by just going bare feet these days. What do you guys think of the situation? Do you think that Ye could be in line to team up with Vibram to do a next level 5-finger shoe? DJ Khaled this week teased that he's going to be working on another collab with Jordan brands, and after the completely underwhelming success of his collab on the Jordan 5s last year, most of us, most notably myself, are not really that fussed. For me, Khaled has two sides. There's a side of him that I do really like, I think he's a nice guy, and then there's a part of him that I just think is a complete goofball. You guys might have also seen this promotional football type video showing Khaled kicking a ball up and then doing this acrobatic bicycle kick with some of the worst CGI graphics I've ever seen. These look like they've come straight out of a PS2. I'm pretty good on DJ Khaled Jordan collabs, to be honest personally, but feel free to let me know in the comments if you would be up for seeing some more Khaled J's. So let's talk about some new sneakers that we've heard announcements of. To celebrate Quavo's upcoming album called Rocket Power, Jordan brands have created a special Air Jordan 1 Low, and I'm not being funny, these are garbage. I mean, they couldn't even give him the Low OG. These kind of look like a custom project undertaken by an 8-year-old and are as unassuming as they are underwhelming. Did they do Quavo dirty on these? I think so. And speaking of underwhelming Air Jordan 1 Lows, check these out. These are the Chris Pauls. Some people are nicknaming these the I never won anything ones. They're definitely better than the Quavos. The materials look really good, and the subtle embroidery or embossing stealthily inlaid into the upper does look really nice, but they are pretty plain Jane, it has to be said. No release date on these yet, but make sure you guys are subscribed so I can keep you guys up to date. First looks at the Air Jordan 5 MANIERE 2023 Photon Dust. In traditional style, the early images aren't the best. They don't really show the sneaker in any particularly flattering light, but there are a couple of things about the shoe that I do like. I like the relatively quiet and safe and simple color blocking. Aged netting and outsole is a given, and they of course have the blue Nike Air branding on the back, which is a welcome touch. It's a nice shoe, nothing crazy, nothing out the gate. These are supposed to be releasing on November the 22nd, and in my opinion, look pretty good. What do you guys think of these? I've also seen a little bit of rumor mongering going on out there among some of the big sneaker pages regarding the potential retro and trendification of the Nike SHOX. This is including posts about some of the best SHOX ever, revisiting some of the Nike SHOX ad campaigns featuring people like Vince Carter. I can't help but feel like some of these big pages are looking to stir up this attention around the SHOX in an attempt to bring them back. And I, for one, am quite happy with them not being brought back. I have had SHOX before in the past. I'm a big fan of the story of the SHOX because from what I remember, they were actually developed by Bruce Kilgore, same guy that brought us the Air Force One. And this technology was actually around back in the 80s and had to be shelved while Nike were prioritizing the Nike Air technology. When they were brought out in the early 2000s, they were definitely pretty cool and they had their moments. And it looks like with collabs like the recent Martina Rose that we've seen, there is going to be an attempt by Nike and others to revamp them. But to be honest, I've always found most of the Nike SHOX models pretty ugly. The technology is not all that. And whilst I wouldn't be surprised to see them make a comeback next year, I am not here for it. What about you? So let's talk about some sneakers dropping this week. First and foremost, you're gonna have one more chance to pick these up, the Palace and Crocs Mellow Clog collection. These go live on the Crocs main website on August the 15th. August the 16th, you've got the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Atmosphere Gray. I think these will be a pretty easy cop. And in my opinion are a really good looking shoe. I could well be in the market for these. There are some more Yeezys, of course, dropping, including the V2 Hyperspace. There's also the Crocs Pollegs Clog, the Begonia and the Yucca. These are more Salehi colorways. Adidas Stan Smith Homer Simpson shoe is dropping this week. August the 18th, featuring the iconic meme of Homer receding back into the hedge, all-time classic. On the 19th, you've got the Air Force One Low Terror Squad collab for all of you early 2000s hip hop babies that remember when Fat Joe and Terror Squad were absolutely ripping it up. These will be, I'm sure, a no-brainer. You have the Porpoise colorway, kind of like a UNC blue, and a black and white panda-esque type colorway. These are pretty cool, to be fair. Some nice Adidas Gazelles on August the 20th. And that is about it. Pretty light week, to be fair. And that's it for this week's sneaker wrap. Thank you guys very much for taking the time to watch the video. Be sure to give it a like like if you did indeed enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already subscribed. And listen, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take it easy. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.